Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you needed to reach a compromise, advocate for a particular idea, or even just resolve a conflict? Me too. Welcome back to our soft skills conversation, and today we're looking at the soft skill of negotiation. If you have ever found yourself in one of those three situations or something similar, you found yourself in a situation where you needed to negotiate. Negotiation is a crucial soft skill. So today we will look at what negotiation is, what are some of its elements, and how we can apply it to our lives. I will read out a definition to you which says, negotiation is the process of discussion and compromise between two or more parties to reach a mutually beneficial agreement. Like all the other soft skills, negotiation is not a stand-alone soft skill. It requires emotional intelligence, good communication, and problem-solving skills. Whether you're negotiating salaries, project deadlines, and responsibilities, mastering this skill is essential for any situation that you find yourself in. So we'll jump right into the elements now that we have talked about what the definition of negotiation is. And right here, before I get into the elements, I would like to encourage you to read a book that is not exactly about negotiation but sets a very good foundation for it. It's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It is a really quick read. It's a small read. It sets a really good foundation. It places your mind in a space which puts you at an advantage to negotiate. So, element number 1, preparation. So good negotiators don't just go into a room to demand what they want. They go in prepared to actively listen, understand what the other party wants, because remember, it's thinking win-win when it comes to negotiation. So it's not, don't think about it like a competition that you must definitely win. People who get into negotiation use emotional intelligence. Number 2, building up from number 1, is active listening. Pay attention. What does the other person really want? How can you meet them where they are while getting what you want and reaching a mutually beneficial conclusion? Number 3 cannot be overemphasized. Use your emotional intelligence. Even if what you have on the table is an issue that is work related, a human being comes with a lot of emotions. Maybe there's stuff going on at home. Now, no one is saying you should be asking about what's going on at home, but pay attention to the state that a person is emotionally, so that you're not exactly mirroring them, but sort of more catering to a deeper need. So maybe someone has come into a negotiation angry. You don't need to mirror them by being angry back. Rather, use your emotional intelligence to respond to where they are, to keep them calm, so that they focus on why you both are there. The 4th one is persuasion and influence. This means that you know your stuff back to back when you get into the conversation. It means that you can convince someone of what you are negotiating about. It goes back to preparation. You know your stuff. You are ready for this, so you can convince the other person with the pros and cons. Try and answer the questions that they may have regarding what you are presenting. This is a key to building trust. So especially if you're negotiating for funding, someone to give you funding, you want them to know that you will take care of their money and that you will return it. So you need, if you're presenting a business plan or whatever they're called these days, you are not wasting their time, you are concise, and you know your stuff. This is the way to win. And the last one, problem solving. So at the heart of negotiation usually is a problem to be solved. It's not about winning or losing. Don't come in with that mentality, even though in the end it may look like a win, but come in with the mentality to solve a problem. So even with the example of funding that I am talking about, yes, you may win the funding, but ultimately the purpose of you winning the funding is going to be sorting out a problem. So if you have a project you're working on that is going to help society improve in some way. That should be the driving factor, not your ego, but the problem solving aspect, because human beings are emotional, and once you speak to their emotions, you win them. And that's exactly how you lose people too, when you mismanage the emotional aspects of the conversation. Much said, how can we then apply this negotiation soft skill to our daily and professional lives? One example would be when you are negotiating for a salary, whether it's an increment or it is during an interview for a job that you're about to take. That is one example when you can use negotiation as a soft skill. Number two, in projects, there may be situations when conflicts arise. Sometimes it's big things, sometimes it's small things. But the best way is to use your skills to find what is a good middle ground. How do we find a win-win solution, a fair solution, an equitable solution? During collaborations as well, because where you have multiple people, you have different deadlines happening, people having different ideas. But when you sit down to discuss, you are negotiating timelines, when things can be happening, who delivers what and when. The skill of negotiation comes in very handy there. And one buzzword that we hear in the last, okay, maybe not the last one, but a buzzword that we hear is work-life balance. Sometimes it's negotiating your work hours. Sometimes it's about, I can work these days at home, I can work these days at the office, these are the hours I can be here or not, and things like that. But in our daily lives, also negotiating with your kids to eat vegetables, to take medication. If you're a wife who is a believer, submission many times can be challenging, but the skill of negotiation can help you get the right answers and move your agenda forward for what you're advocating for. I hope this has been helpful. I always say, whenever we have these discussions, please go down the rabbit hole to go and find books and read, look up YouTube videos on negotiation, because these things will go a long way to helping you succeed. Also remember, we have a community where we read one book a month, have a check-in every month, and we're doing 3 daily wins plus 1 to help us practice these things that we learn from each book that we read. It is very simple. Look at the description and you will be able to see how you can get in touch with me to join our community. Till the next one, this has been your friend Bupe, the Mindpreneur. Bye.